Hey guys, and welcome to Vida Day 3. A little bit of disclaimer before this video actually starts. I'm going to be talking about intimate health and sex and genitalia and just sex in general. So if you're sensitive to that subject, it's probably best not to watch this. I want to keep the comments as mature as I can, and I want anyone who has questions to comment down below or message me. I just want the situation to be really mature so we can talk about STD testing in the way that it should be. I did do a why I'm on the pill video, and you can go watch it. I'll put it in the description box below. It wasn't during Vida, but it might be interesting if you're looking into contraception and sexual health. Anyway, without further ado, this is my STD testing story time. First of all, I'm going to throw a fact at you. Doctors recommend you get an STD check 6 months to a year if you're sexually active / change partners or whatever. So it is really good that we start speaking about STD testing in the way that, like, this format, so young people know it and even older people know it. If you need to get tested, get tested. There are a lot of things attached to getting tested now, but I think it's time to drop the norms and just look at our health in a different way. A friendly reminder that the pill does not protect against STDs, it only protects against pregnancy. So if you are relying on the pill, you need to get checked if you've changed partners while being on the pill. So when you get an STD test, you go to a GUM clinic, which is basically just a sexual health clinic. I'm not really sure what GUM stands for. Waiting in said GUM clinic waiting room is like going up on a roller coaster. Oh my god. It was probably the most nerve-wracking thing I've done, and it shouldn't have been. It should be like going to the dentist for a checkup. It should be just a routine thing, but for some reason we all just get grossed out by it, and I'm not entirely sure why. Anyway, there was a few people waiting in the waiting room with me, so it made it seem a little bit like a team effort more than me just going on my own. I highly recommend taking a friend or someone that you trust, because then it again feels like more of a team effort and you'll feel more supported, and it's just great to take people with you. As soon as they called my name, I was shook to the core because it was a man, and I was expecting a woman. But men in this industry shouldn't be preached at or criticised because they're men. They want the same thing as a woman GUM clinic person. That's not what they're called. He then walked me into his office where he closed the door, so it's completely closed off. He just asked me loads of personal health questions, both sexual related and non-sexual related, mostly sexual related because that's what I went in for. If you think that you do have an STD and you're not just going for a regular checkup, then he will probably ask to examine you, but you can refuse. You don't have to. You can even ask for a female doctor at this point. You do whatever you need to do. At the end of the day, still getting a test. I don't think an examination is necessarily needed. So what actually happens at a STD test is you have to do a swab and a blood sample for women. For men, it's just a urine sample, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but I've only had 3 people that I know that are males that have had STD tests, and all 3 of them have said they just did a urine sample. I'm not sure if there's another alternative for men, but there aren't many ways of testing a man without hurting him, so I think urine is the best way to go. You can refuse the blood test, but I'm not sure how that works. So I don't know, I'm not really bad with needles. I let them just prick me. I'm not sure if there is an alternative to the blood test and if you can do something else, but you'll just have to talk to your GUM clinic person, whether it's a man or a woman. In my opinion, the swab test is very uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. It's just a little bit uncomfortable because there's no lubrication. It feels like doing foreplay without any lube, or sex without any lube, or sex without foreplay, if you know what that feels like. Although I'm not really sensitive to needles, they do make me a little bit queasy, but the swab was more uncomfortable in my opinion. The swab is basically a double-ended, not a dildo, not a double-ended dildo, I wanted to say that, I know that's what you were thinking, that's not what I was going to say. It's like a double-ended cotton bud thing, you know, when you clear your ears out. But you know the thing you clear your ears out, it's just literally a long purple with them. It has a little indent where you have to push it up until that point. And oh my god, it was the most uncomfortable thing, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say oh my god, it felt great, I orgasmed and everything. No. Take some lube if you really want to. When you've swabbed, you have to put it up inside you until the little indent is covered, and then you have to swirl it around for 5 seconds. You count to 5 in your head, and then you have to put it in a little tube that looks like the tubes that you take your toothbrush in to go on holiday. You slit it in, and there's a little thing on the end. You pop it on, and then you give it to the nurse that does your blood test for you, and then she takes it to the lab. The blood test is just a literal standard blood test. They prick your arm with a needle, they take some blood, they take it here, and then they squeeze so the blood is rising to the surface so they can easily take it out with you. They put it in a little test tube thing, and then they put it with your swab in the lab. The nurse I had was actually really rude. She just looked so done. But I think it's because I was one of the last like people that she had to do because it was very late. So I think she was just really rude because she was tired. I don't think that's anything to do with the whole STD testing experience. I think it was just one day that she was in a bad mood. Again, the doctor may want to examine you if you do think that you have an STD and you're not just going in for a regular checkup. But it's totally optional. You don't have to tell them that you think you have one. Just go and get tested. If you need to be tested at the end of the day, don't lie about it, because that's how STDs are spread. Don't give a shit about what society says, because it's all a little bollocks. You need to figure out yourself, take care of yourself, no matter what your names you're called. Having an STD test does not make you any dirtier or any less than anybody else. It actually makes you more sensible and, you know, grown up, because you're taking care of your sexual health. And what's better, being embarrassed for about 5 minutes because you've been told you got chlamydia, or finding out you have chlamydia and can't have children? Would you rather have that and not be able to have kids, or the embarrassment of having chlamydia and treating it with antibiotics? It's your choice. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a like. And get tested for STDs, because it's good if you're having sex, of course. Don't just go in like, I think I've got an STD and I've never had sex before. That's a waste of NHS time. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in tomorrow's video. 1, 4, 3, bye. Mwah.
What's the worst that could happen? You'll never know unless you try. Don't be put off by your self-doubting thoughts. If you don't take a leap, then you might never fly.